Kolbrin Bible, Book 3, Gleanings, Chapter 25, Fragment 1. SCL 25:1. O enfolded sleeping soul, unaware of the life fountain within from which you may drink, unfeeling of the throbbing life all about us, now is your hour. Prepare yourself for the great awakening. The bright light of wisdom awaits to encircle you as you stand before the awful door within the sacred temple of mystery. SCL 25:2. That the light of truth may be a sure guide amidst the dark gloom of earthly life, a certain aid enabling you to find the way of your eternal spirit. You are not unknowing of your inner wisdom. It is the key to everlasting life in the glorious place beyond the western veil. SCL 25:3. O live my soul, awaken, hear me. Let not my love and my sacrifice be in vain. Let not all my hopes turn to dust within the tomb. Can love become soil and hope become sand? Never, for the grave is not the destination of the sublime attributes which ennoble the nature of man. SCL 25:4. Man as a flame burning in water, as it is written on the pillars without. His soul is as the rosebud awaiting the kiss of the sun to awaken it to bloom. His nature is as the day which is ever accompanied by the night. Note, there's a break here. SCL 25:5, Fragment 2. I will praise the nameless God, who is the true God, and the knower of every name. Hail, great overseer of the earth. SCL 25:6. The high heavens will hear the sound of my voice, and its loudness shall ring across the widespread land. It shall resound throughout the red land. My song shall ride on the wings of the wind, and my gladness shall whisper into the ear of the air. Hail, great overseer of earth. SCL 25:7. I shall seek diligently for enlightenment and knowledge, that I may proclaim the ways of the true God among people. For they are mysterious ways not easily understood. Man wallows in a quicksand of ignorance, and only by extreme effort can he extricate himself. Great overseer, grant me the ability to understand. Hail, great overseer of the earth. SCL 25:8. I say to the people, declare the great one to your children, to the highborn and to the lowly ones, who dwell together under the same sun, to the generations as yet unborn. Sing songs that will echo down the corridors of time. Hail, great overseer of earth. SCL 25:9. Sing his praises with the birds of the air. Tell of him to the fishes in the waters, to the creatures which bide in the ground, and to the things which walk and crawl above it. Hail, great overseer of earth. SCL 25:10. Declare him unto all, for he is the God of all. He is the great compassionate one, whose wrath declines with the setting sun, and in the morning departs with the dawnlight mist. Hail, great overseer of the earth. SCL 25:11. Sometimes in the lonely night watches, I wonder, have you turned your face from me? What have I done that you are unresponsive? Have I ever lived otherwise than in accordance with your word? O great overseer of earth, what is your will for me? Note, another break here. SCL 25:12, Fragment 3. O great one, everlastingly considerate of our needs, overseer and taskmaster of mankind, look down upon us with compassion, and lay not too great a burden upon us. Your dutiful servants, labor we must, for thus we prepare for a higher state of being. But bear with us, for sometimes we grow weary and falter at the task. SCL 25:13. Here we have fallen victims of our own wiles. We have hopelessly snarled up the threads of our existence, so we know not how to loosen the knots. We ourselves have tied, and so free ourselves. We are entangled in a net of our own weaving, Let us, your servants, look to you, the Great One, for aid. Our destinies are held in the hollow of your hands, while the future is visible to you, as is written upon an open scroll. SCL 2514. The glorious ones worship you with service and serve through following the words of guidance. Thus, the earthbound spirits worship you. The shades of the departed worship you, and the whole of creation worships you. We, your servants, offer our continual and everlasting devotion to your service. We are not as others, O Great One, for we know well that worship and devotion means service and expended effort, not mere words and ritual. SCL 2515. Your spirit governs the breezes that comfort mankind. You send the fertilizing rains. Your spirit quickens the seed within the womb of earth. The songs of the birds are inspired by the knowledge of you, and the wild beasts rejoice in the sustenance provided. SCL 2516. You are the universal being, the rain cloud overshadowing the earth, the one dwelling in the cave of the heart within all breathing creatures. You are the weaver of the warp and woof of life. Note, there is a break here. SCL 2517, Fragment 4. I praise the one who eats evil, the disposer of earthly residue, he who sustains the devoted followers of the deathless ones, in whom all merge on leaving the body. For the day comes when we discard all that is of earth, when we recognize and realize that all remaining is the pure and sacred spirit, boundless and free as the winds. SCL 2518. I praise the one who eats evil, the disposer of earthly residue, he who sustains the devoted followers of the deathless one, who is with us everywhere and in all things, in whom is all, though not himself the all, who sees and hears all, who knows and understands all, but whom none tied to earth can know, who projects his word of power, so that it is within all and holds all things together in stability. SCL 2519. I praise the one who eats evil, the disposer of earthly residue, he who sustains the devoted followers of the deathless one, who created all things, and thus became his own greater self, who clothes himself in the universe as with a garment. Note, another break here. SCL 2520, Fragment 5. O Great Spirit, I would see the vast face of the earth as you behold it. I would know how the seed is quickened, so that it grows into the plant, and how the fowl comes forth from the egg. What is added to the egg to give it the power to reproduce life? SCL 2521. I would touch your great body, born of the breath from the eternal source, and watch your thoughts creating and molding all things to shape step by step. SCL 2522. I would see the links of heaven and earth and rest one hand in each. I would see the thread that binds yesterday, today, and tomorrow, so all are one and parts of the whole. SCL 2523. I would see the appointed place of every living man and understand why. I would see the purpose of every beast and every plant, every tree and everything that flies and crawls. SCL 2524. I would know gladness with the children as they play and go singing on the way to their places of instruction. I would watch birth and death and solve their mysteries. I would know the depths of hatred and the heights of love. SCL 2525. I would journey the adventurous path of love, hand in hand with another. I would know its secret, its delights, and their shadows, and the secret of its silences. SCL 2526. I would know the beginning and the end and understand what links them. I would see the chain of the years and the necklace of the days. I would know the purpose of it all. Then, knowing all these, I would know you at last, O Great Spirit. Note, end of fragment. SCL 2527, Fragment 6. O true God, by whom the worthy are guided in all they undertake, who rises as a beacon in the darkness for the lowly, grant us, your servants, who put their trust in you, strength to overcome all the doubts and uncertainties which rise in our hearts as frightening shadows arise in the night. Let us sip the waters from the inexhaustible well of wisdom, that we may not move along false paths to encompass our own destruction. SCL 2528. For we cannot see the way in the enveloping darkness, and confusing voices shout this way or that way. We are bewildered, for we know not which one is right. Can there be so many ways? SCL 2529. We are not men of great learning or high position. We do not sit among princes, being among the lowliest in the land. Yet it is we who carry the burdens of the people. We feed the hungry and provide for the widow and orphan. Ours are the aching backs and weary feet. Ours the naked body and empty bowl. SCL 2530. Those who are concerned with higher things sit at tables of plenty. Those seemingly unworthy rejoice amid prosperity and plenty. Those who take are given more, while those who give are mocked. SCL 2531. We see these things, and doubt enters our thoughts. We ask one another, why is this the order of things? Is it the will of our God? Then we seek for an answer, in all sincerity and with productive effort, and the greater God above all does not remain mute. Note a break here. SCL 2532, Fragment 7. O God, hear my prayer, for I have gone into the great recesses within me, and await a response from out of the enveloping silence and tranquility, the restlessness and discontent of life. I have left at the portal. I have closed the door to the outer things of life. SCL 2533. Give ear, O my soul, to the whispers from the silence. Close out the clamor of earth, and hearken to the soft voice which echoes from the far reaches of eternity. Hear, without ears, the wordless voice of truth. Close the eyes of the flesh, that the greater eye may see in the inner darkness. SCL 2534. Enter into the inner temple and await the revelation of heavenly secrets. Shut out the clamoring senses that demand expression in sensual pleasures. Then, when all outer doors are closed and all inner doors open, speak to me, and I will hear your voice. Tell me the secrets of the ages, and my spirit will dwell in contentment forever. SCL 2535. This alone I ask, and no more. It is sufficient for one lifetime. Note, end of fragment. SCL 2536, Fragment 8. O Great One on high, have pity on us, for we are hopelessly ensnared by our complete lack of things needed to sustain the body. Without sustenance, our spirits are restless. Our hearts cannot find peace. We do not desire foolish things or pleasurable or vain things, but just the things without which we cannot live. SCL 2537. Though we lack all things, we do not turn our faces from you, for we know well that in your bounty all men are provided for, and the earth is full of richness. It is not you who take away the things needed to sustain our lives, but those made in our own likenesses, our own brother men. SCL 2538. They deny meat to the hungry and drink to the thirsty, though they themselves are gorged to fullness and bloated with good things. Be merciful to them, instruct and enlighten them with your chastising afflictions. Thus they may come to know that man needs man, and each man is brother to all others. SCL 2539. Others have reaped where we have sown, and others sleep where we have built, because of the statutes of men. Therefore met out not but justice, that we may be fed and clothed and have a place to rest our heads. Note, end of fragment. SCL 2540, Fragment 9. O God, who teaches us in so many strange ways in this great place of instruction called earth, who set us tasks to an end, which we cannot foresee, and who test us to measure our abilities and to try our courage and fidelity. SCL 2541. Instruct us so we may better understand the bitter lessons which purge from our natures all which is unwholesome to the spirit. Strengthen us so we may bear all things without complaint and conduct ourselves manfully under the strict discipline of this unique place of instruction. Open the eyes of understanding within us that we may benefit by every experience and not waste time bewailing our lot. SCL 2542. Tell us so we may know, instruct us in our duties in the battle line, so that when we are called upon to take our appointed places, we shall not shirk the clash. Toughen us on the training ground of adversity, so that we may be stronger for the fray. When the day of battle comes upon us and cowards flee before the strength of our adversary, when the valiant ones kiss the dust at the portals of glory, let our place be where the battle rages most fiercely and the blows fall the thickest. SCL 2543. If we faint, may we still remain faithful. If we are exhausted, may we remain dauntless. If our hour come and we fall before the onslaught, may it be with weapons in hand and face to the foe. We fight the fight where the victor can be the vanquished, and the vanquished the victor. For here, the fight is the end and not the victory. He who serves the end well, justly, claims the fruits of victory. SCL 2544. We cannot ask to win, but we can ask to be made strong if we struggle for strength. We cannot ask to remain unhurt, but we do ask for courage. We cannot ask to be supported in weakness, but we can ask for the fortitude to endure. We stand firm-footed, grim-faced to the foe. The ranks of wickedness encompass us about, but we will surge forward with closed ranks, carrying all before us until we come to rest in the presence of victory. SCL 2545. O God, supreme among spirits, watch over us in the struggle, for we are your children. Note, end of fragment. SCL 2546, Fragment 10. This is my prayer, O Great Spirit, accept my prayer. O dweller in the pure region of truth, hear me. O great fountain of wisdom, hear me. SCL 2547, O comforter and companion of the soul, silences, hear me. I, your son, come into your presence with faith and humility. SCL 2548. Grant that my spirit be admitted into the glorious audience chamber between the two regions. SCL 2549. I, your son, come into your presence with faith and humility. O supreme source of the foam-holding rays, grant me a hearing. O great one seated on the celestial throne behind the great solar disk, hear me. All homage to you, great God, Master of the bodies of men. I, your son, come into your presence with faith and humility. My every thought and deed are dedicated to your service. These things are written clearly in my heart and are not mere puffs of wind from my mouth. Note, end of fragment. SCL 2550, Fragment 11. Lord of my heart, hear me now, as I stand in communicating silence before the listening shrine. You are the great one who existed before the upheaval of the mountains, who tore apart the land and waters in the infant years of man. SCL 2551. For in your sight 1,000 great years are as an hour in the heat of the day, or as a watch in the coolness of the night. You are the timekeeper in eternity and warden of the ages. SCL 2552. You reap men as corn is reaped at the harvest, and sweep them away as floodwaters cleanse the land. For man is like unto the grass of the field. In the morning it grows full of vigor, gaily bedecked with the gems of morning dew. In the eventide it is cut down to wither in the night. SCL 2553. The day is not important if men live by the hour, fulfilling in each its appointed task. Note, End of fragment. SCL 2554, fragment 12. When the dread messenger calls for you, let him not find you ill-equipped and unprepared in the final hour, which must surely come. There will be no opportunity for fine speech, and naught can delay his imperious command. Then all the possessions you have cherished and stored will be as naught, and all you will be able to take with you will be that which you have fashioned within. SCL 2555. Do not be numbered among the foolish, who say, "Time enough, for I am yet young." Death claims the breast child as well as the aged, and on this you should ponder. Consider well your future estate. SCL 2556. Here you are, the architect of your future abode. The plans prepared here are carried out in another place. Earth is the place of sowing, heaven is the place of reaping. SCL 2557. Here you are the sculptor who chisels the statue, the potter who fashions the pot, the woodworker who carves the pillar. What is there on earth more deserving of your care and attention than your own future form and appearance? SCL 2558. Do you recklessly hew or willfully cut? Do you heedlessly pound the pliable clay and carelessly fashion the unfired pot? Do you mix the colors with proper thought? SCL 2559. What manner of thing are you fashioning in this great workshop? A beauteous being arrayed in radiant splendor, or a hideously foul fiend which can do naught but squirm in the slime of its fitting abode? SCL 2560. Whom will you praise for your prudence, or curse for your lack of foresight? Who can force you to deal tenderly and responsibly with the slumbering child of your own self, or prevent you from carelessly and willfully shattering all hopes for its future well-being? Note: end of fragment. SCL 2561, fragment 13. Rejoice, all cities beside the waters. Be joyful, all people in the land, for great things have come to pass. Behold, the foe is scattered in confusion. They are no more. They are eaten up. Victory is with us. SCL 2562. All praise to our commanding Lord. Hail the great leader. Hail the source of power in the land. Live forever in glory. O mighty fighter, let us rest in the shade of your greatness. Let us dwell under your shadow, under the protection of your right arm. SCL 2563. You have given us that which we never thought to know again. Men sit in peace, speaking freely one with another. They walk abroad with light steps, and their heads are held high. Men look their fellow men in the eye, and there is none to jostle them. They are delivered from the shadow of fear, and confidence is renewed in them. The fortresses are no longer overflowing with fighting men, and all throughout the land no well is forbidden to the thirsty. All may drink freely where there is water. Men come and go across the wilderness carrying the burdens of trade, and no one falls upon them to plunder. Men journey peacefully along the lonely roads, and no one waylays them to rob traders across the barren places, and are unmolested. No one rises against them. SCL 2564. The bearers of messages no longer hasten about, pale of face and frightened. They no longer carry doleful tidings. They no longer bear words of fear. Their coming no longer causes the knees to tremble and the stomachs to fall. Now the messengers loiter in shady places, remaining there until the night watch calls, for there is no urgency in the words they carry. The fighting men rest, their hazardous days have gone. The bow, the sword, the spear, and the shield have been laid away in the weapon stores. Men walk freely, they talk gaily, for they are not overshadowed with fear. Neither do they tremble for fear of molestation. The faces of the border guardians are no longer haggard with sleeplessness, nor are their eyes tired and strained with watchfulness. Throughout the whole land there is content and tranquility. SCL 2565. The herds are large and sleek. They are no longer tense and restless. The flocks graze continually in their green pastures. The fowls are no longer alert and noisy, but squabble playfully, chasing one another through the dust. The voices of men are no longer hoarsened with war cries. Instead, they can be heard singing as each goes about his appointed task. The doleful wailing of women who mourn their dead is no longer heard, and widows no longer proclaim themselves. The husbandman sows contentedly, knowing that where he sows he shall also reap. He no longer doubts that he will enjoy his own harvest. SCL 2566. The face of God is once more inclined favorably towards us. Even the lesser gods look again upon the land with favor. The reign of Saku is over. He no longer overshadows the lives of men. All is well in the two lands. SCL 2567. Fragment 14. We praise our own God with joyous and grateful hearts. He has shown himself among us. He will come again in his season. All is well with us. His desire brings forth the green growing things, and the land is clothed in its gay mantle. His hand guides the stars. His mind contains all things that fly above the earth, and all things that walk and crawl upon its face. SCL 2568. We praise you, great eternal one, whose forms are so many. We kiss the ground before you. All the sacred beings and sacred things men worship are but manifestations of their groping through the clouds of ignorance to understand you. Have pity on them, for they were born into darkness and mysteries, but their hearts are good. SCL 2569. Each day you bring some new things to the attention of man, and place before them problems to unravel. The nature of men ever inclines them towards the path of ease and passiveness. Therefore, they tend to shun the things which are truly profitable. Therefore, deal with men in a manner best fitting for their progress towards truth. Note: End of fragment. SCL 2570. Fragment 15. Neither life nor love ends at the grim portal. The strength of the invisible bond between two souls binds them even after death. That which binds strongest of all is the love, which is sincere, true, and constant. Such love endures through tribulations and trials. SCL 2571. If one you love has departed through the western gates into the great halls of eternity, then be comforted by the words of truth. This you will then know, that the guardian at the grim portal is no fearsome being, but a compassionate attendant who tends you gently while asleep until the morning of a more glorious day. Then you will be awakened to journey through a greater adventure with the companions of former times. SCL 2572. Fragment 16. In death you are greater than ever you were on earth, for now the companionable spirits lament for your sake. They strike their bare flesh for you, and smite upon their forearms. They tear at their hair and cast dust on their heads. SCL 2573. Yet, if they be true to themselves, they are not cast down. They are not distressed. There is voice speaking out of the silence, saying, if he goes, he shall come. If he sleeps, he shall awaken. And if he dies, he shall live. SCL 2574. Can you be gone from us forever? No, you are not dead or lost unto us unless by our own deeds we depart to dwell in different regions. SCL 2575. I am not cast down. You are now in the great place beyond the everlasting stars. You have passed over the horizon of immortality, and now walk erect along the path of glory. May we meet there in days yet to come. SCL 2576. Hail, O glorious one! SCL 2577. Fragment 17. Stand by my side, support me when I pass out from the tomb. O my guardian, let me take your hand, stand by my side when I come before the assessors, that when I hear the verdict I may not be alone. If my eyes cannot see, then tell me of the balances. Do they bear down in my favor? SCL 2578. O guardian God, lighten the darkness for me and deliver me from the meshes of the net woven by my own deeds of wickedness and weakness. You are my strength and support. To you have I given my offerings. You I have honored above all. SCL 2579. There I may be in distress and have none to abide with me. I may have no comforter and may be alone. Therefore desert me not in my time of trial. Stand by my side, O guardian God. If I am numbered among the distressed ones, look upon me with compassion and mercy. And if I am deserted, then sustain me with water, bread, and oil. SCL 2580, Fragment 18. I sing words of glory unto my God, who is the great God above all gods. And the words which issue from my mouth shall be exalted above all things. With them I will praise him in the sacred place. In the silence of his hidden sanctuary they will glorify my God, so that his majesty is not dishonored, and he is not deserted until the day when he shall be declared before all men. SCL 2581. With the ever-loving thoughts of a devoted heart, I praise him. Even as the sun rises joyfully into the day sky, so does my heart rise towards he who gives me life and renews it day by day. SCL 2582. He is great, he is mighty, he is glorious. He made the great river to flow, that all men in the two lands might be fed. It never wearies, it never ceases, its onward flowing, it is everlastingly renewed. SCL 2583. Even as the great river flows steadily and strongly through the barren wilderness and bestows verdant life on its way, so let the river of my life flow through the earth and eat away the sands of wickedness. SCL 2584. Release me from my mortal fetters, loosen the heavy covering of flesh, which imprisons me, which restrains me. Let me rise free into the glory above, as the falcon floats freely on the wing. Let not the melody of my song be cut off while I sing, nor the story end before its completion. SCL 2585. Keep me, O my God, from the ways of darkness, and let my spirit rejoice in the light of righteousness. SCL 2586. Glory to you, great God, Lord of truth, whose eternal throne is concealed behind man's limitations, who issued the command that brought things into being, who made man so wonderfully that man himself cannot understand his own nature, who hears with compassion the cry of the distress and the moan of the captive. SCL 2587. All hail the everlasting spirit within the real self, the seed of all thought inseparable from me. I am one who can truly call his soul everlasting, for I am one of the awakened ones, one of the few who've at long last attained the splendid vision. I have seen the bright flash of truth in the darkness of earthly existence. I am free, I am illuminated. SCL 2588. I will sing that you may be glorified in the solitudes of your hidden places, where the eyes of the profane can never penetrate, where few men come as chosen ones. There we will sing songs of yore. We will sing of your ways and of your laws, which remained everlastingly unchangeable. SCL 2589, Fragment 19. Heaven and the many heavens beyond heaven, earth and the many earths beyond earth, are held in the thoughts and power of God. They are as a monument to his everlasting glory. All things living that move and breathe have their place in the abode of life. Man finds the greatest joy in the eternal halls. Therefore, set not your heart on earthly possessions. SCL 2590. Here, a man may desire life for 100 years, and may even attain it. But what benefit are the extended years to him if they do not exalt the soul? There is a horror-haunted region of darkness, and whosoever rejects the Godward life on earth will surely dwell therein. They will go down to partake of the nature of demons, down into the darkness of delusions and doom. SCL 2591. The soul, without moving, flies on wings swifter than thought. It stands behind and beyond the senses. It is the knower working within the things that are known. The spirit of man is carried down the stream of action into the ocean of life. The spirit is everlasting. It is near and it is far. It is in all and it contains all. SCL 2592. He who sees his own self in all things and all things in his own self is awakened. He is beyond delusion and outside the reach of futile sorrow. SCL 2593. Fragment 20. I am Haru, the enlightened one, Haru, the twice born. Having crossed the dark waters myself, I carry the others across. Being free from fear, I free others from fear. Being unrestricted, I ease the restrictions of others. Knowing the way, I show it to others. Having trodden the road, I now guide others along it. I am an illuminated one, the open of ear, the keen of eye. I am one who knows the law. I am a keeper of ordinances. SCL 2594. I shall refresh all those whose bodies are bent with toil or sorrow. I shall come to the aid of those whose souls are withered and distorted, and give them strengthening sustenance. I shall open the eyes of many who are deluded in the heavy mists of threefold existence. SCL 2595. Hear me, all who toil under the yoke of ignorance, who labor under the clouds of despair. I am the forthcoming one, the future one turned back. I am the spirit within the law. SCL 2596. I am the voice of enlightenment, one who proclaims the brotherhood of all men. I am to one as to another. I am Haru. SCL 2597. Fragment 21. O life-giving sun, handwork of God, projection of divine fire, heat of heaven, light of the day, solitary glory of the daytime, let me behold the hidden form behind your brightness. For the spirit within you is even as my spirit. Thus I may come to understand the nature of my God, who commands you and to whom I pray. The fair face of the daughter of truth remains hidden, its mask of gold. O spirit of light, draw aside the veil even slightly that I may see. SCL 2598. Who among men is wise enough to know his own wrongdoing, or to see clearly his own errors and follies? The eyes of men are dim and the road narrow. Therefore, it is not hard to wander from the way. Therefore, O my God, keep me from all hidden wrongdoing and errors, and keep me from the power of temptations to which I so readily succumb. SCL 2599. I know the rebellions of my heart, and my wickedness is ever before my eyes. Yet how much more do I not see? I have chafed against the restrictions of your decrees and the law. I am a foolish one who does himself an injury. SCL 25100. I am ashamed and blush for my folly. I am as a man who, when his arm does wrong, cuts off a finger. Help to make clean my heart and strengthen my spirit, that it may resist my own inflections upon it. I believe I do right and do wrong, for I have not listened carefully and diligently to your words written on the sacred scrolls. SCL 25101. O my God, whom I have long worshipped with devotion, incline from the great heights of your splendor and stretch a helping hand down towards your weary servant. Trusting in you, I will depart from the pastures of sweet grass and the calm waters of restful repose, and go into the presence of the everlasting Lords. I will pass out of the dark tomb. I will arise refreshed with the outpouring of your Spirit. I will clasp your mighty hand and be guided along the path of truth. Thus I cannot stray, and the lonely places will not claim me. SCL 25-102. In confidence and trust, I will take my place before the court of assessors. Guided by your light, I shall pass safely by the place of darkness, and those who lurk shall do me no harm. My trust is in you, and I will come safely past the lurking ones. I shall be freed of all earthly weariness, and my spirit shall shine forth in glory. I will stand in the place of brightness, and the glorious ones will come bringing refreshing waters. I will not lack sweet sustenance, and delicacies shall be poured forth for me in abundance.